Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to default on Bureau. Now, I'm going to timestamp it so that way you guys can go to each part that I'm about to explain in this video. First, we're going to go over the utility that you're going to use for your standard default, and then I'm going to give the explanation as to why you should use that utility. And then we're going to go into how you should set up your individual defaults. So your mid default, your B default, and your A default. So first we're going to start with our utility. I don't know why I'm still blinking. I'm sure that's fine. Anyways, for your A long utility, you're just going to come into this corner and you're going to throw this smoke just like this. Now the reason you just want to throw the smoke is because from servers in Intel through A long is the most common backstab angle and the most common flank route on this map. And the reason you just want to throw the smoke is so that way you can bait the coalition into throwing their utility out into here in this area, so that way they can try and peek you, or if they're going to dry peek you, you'll just be sitting in this corner right here if you're just playing this A-long solo. Next, we got the mid smoke and flash. And for this, you're going to stand in this corner right here, look at the top of the orange part of the wall here, and you're going to jump through the smoke, and then you're going to run the flash in. The flash is going to bounce off, and it's going to bounce right into here, and it's going to blind the coalition from that side of mid. Now, the reason you want to throw your smoke first, then your flash, is because you don't want the coalition to see the flashbang. Because if you throw your flash in first, then your smoke, the coalition, they'll see the flash coming in, they'll be able to dodge it, they'll be able to push through the smoke, be able to pick at anyone who's playing in this area here. And when you throw your flashbang, you're going to want to throw your flashbang towards this wall right here. And after you throw your smoke, when you're getting ready to throw your flash, come up to this corner here and look at this wall in between these two walls right here. You can see the different corners here. You're going to run your flash in like this. It's going to pop right outside of the smoke, and it's going to blind anybody who's sitting right here. So they'll have to fall back in case, they think they're going to get rushed. You know what I wish we had in custom games? The ability to fly. That'd be nice. Anyways, for your B-long smoke and flash combo, you're going to want to focus on the timings here, because at 11 seconds, the coalition is going to swing out, and you get to here in about 7 seconds. So you don't really have a lot of time to mess around. You got to go, right from the get-go. So as you're running out to here, you're going to look up to this blue spot on this ceiling here, and you're going to run through the flash. This will cause a pop flash. Then you're going to dodge the flash the best you can, and then while you're running, jump through this smoke. The smoke is going to land right here, and it's going to keep the coalition from pushing out from vent hall. Now, the reason you want to throw the flashbang first is because it's going to end up becoming a pop flash. A pop flash is very difficult to dodge, even for the best and the most highest skill players. And then once you have that smoke down, reset it for you. You can see, once you have that smoke down, you're going to have the default spot for B-long is going to be right here, holding this angle, because if there are players pushing from vent hall, and if there are players pushing from B site, then you can funnel them down into one singular angle right here. So the pop flash will deter the coalition from pushing out any further. The smoke will make them hesitate trying to push out here, but they can just swing whenever they want. And if they do swing, then you're going to want to make sure you're having your crosshair in the right spot. So right about here, the coalition player will be able to see you once they reach about here. Or if they're pushing from behind the smoke, that's also a possibility. So you're going to have your crosshair right about there. Right about there. So it doesn't matter what default you are running. All you need to know are those utility throws, so you're able to set up whichever default you want. All right, now it's time for the setup for each of your defaults. So for your mid default, you're going to have one player go A-long, two players go mid, and two players go B-long. The A-long player is going to do its standard smoke, like this, and they're going to hold this angle right here. They're making sure that the coalition isn't pushing from intel or servers. For the two players in mid, one player is going to throw the smoke flash combo, like this. That was a bad flash. Yeah, you got to be careful with that flash, because if you don't throw it just right, you could end up flashing yourself. Anyways, one player is going to end up pushing all the way through up to here. Now their job is to watch this angle right here for any players pushing through. Now this spot is spammable, so you can switch things up by sitting up on this thing right here. You can't sit up on that, but just sitting right here, waiting for this angle. Unless they have walls and know exactly where you're sitting, they're just, this is a spammable spot. So just be careful about that. And for the second player, they're going to be sitting right up here, watching this angle, just in case any players try to push out through here. You also want to be jiggling this constantly, so that way you don't get instantly one-shotted, and if you do see him coming around as you're falling back, you can wait for him to push out, and you can use your utility to flash out. Or you could have your other teammate peek for you, because they're going to be spotted on the radar. Alright, lastly, we've got the two B-long players. That's the wrong flash. Alright, lastly, we got the two B-long players. One player's going to throw the smoke and flash combo. And the players through the smoke and flash are going to post up here. The other player will be right here, holding this angle right here, just in case anyone tries to pop out. But if there is utility being thrown from B side, then they're going to be checking their angles right here. So you got this angle, you got this angle, this angle, this angle, and this angle around this post here. They're going to be clearing this while their teammate is holding the smoke right here. If they don't see anybody on B site, then they're just going to flash the back of the site, just in case if anyone's trying to hide back there. And they're just going to push. These two are going to push in. Two players from mid are going to push up. Player from A long is going to push back through, and it's going to be a B side take. But that's only if you know there's nobody on B side. If your teammate calls it out, of course. All right, next up we have a B site default. That's going to be one player A long, one player mid, three players B long. The A long player is going to be the same. The mid player, however, is going to be solo, so he's going to throw the smoke and the flash as before, like this, and he's going to push all the way up into this spot right here. And he's going to be listening for the players pushing through orange from B site. Now it's the same setup as before. You got your flashbang, you got your smoke that you're going to throw. You got your player that threw the smoke is going to post up right here. However, the other two players are going to be doing the B site clear a little differently. So the first player is going to check this spot right here. And he's going to hold this angle right here. And he's going to make sure that if anyone's trying to push around to vent, he's going to spot them first. And while he's holding that right here, the other player is going to peek around him, checking the other angles in case there are any more players on B site. And if there are players on A site, he's going to get into a firefight and quickly dive down. And that should hopefully either push them to the right or to the left. Of course, that was reversed, but it's in the perspective of the coalition, so right, left. Okay, whatever. Once he's out of the firefight, then the coalition player is going to either go to the left or to the right. And if he goes to the left, you got your player right here holding this angle to be able to take them out. And if they go left, you got your player right here waiting for them. And of course, you got your player right there holding the vent hall smoke. And lastly, for an A site default, you're going to have two going A long, two going mid, and one going B long. The solo B long player will be responsible for their nades, of course. And all they have to do is throw the smoke. Obviously not that smoke. It's the jump throw smoke. This, obviously. And they're going to hold the smoke right here, funneling the players down into one singular angle like this. The two mid players is going to be the same as before with the mid default. One player is going to throw the smoke and flash and rush up into orange here, sit on this trash can. And then the other player will sit right here, watching the orange angle here, jiggling, so they don't get insta-dinked. Now for the A-long players, you're going to have one player throw the smoke and sit in this spot right here. And then you'll have your other player either holding this angle, like this, or he's going to hold the angle like this. It is a little bit safer to hold the angle like this because you're peeking from the left side and you have less area being exposed on the left side than you do the right side. So that way you can create a sort of crossfire. So if there is just one player peeking that, they can't really do anything about it unless they have godlike aim and essentially cheat. This is the only way to beat that. All right, and that is how you're going to default on Bureau. By following the nade lineups on this video, as well as the setup for each default, you and your team should be winning more rounds as the breach on Bureau. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay safe. Bye-bye.